Hey guys, welcome. Hope y'all are having a good day so far. Another edition of Right on Rangers Live, and we are finishing up the game today. Looks like the bottom of the eighth just came to a finish. We said we get on at some point during one of these games. I think this was a good time to hop online. Rangers just put up a nice four spot in the bottom of the eighth to really extend this lead out. So always, always good to give a little cushion for that ninth inning. And sure enough, Rangers top of the order comes through. Seager, Wyatt Langford had a nice hit in this inning. Really great to see them create a little bit of separation here. It was pretty much a tight game all the way through, right? I mean, it was 2-2 until the bottom of the sixth. Rangers got a run, 3-2 moving forward, and it's nice to have a 5-run lead going into the ninth inning. We'll see what the Astros can do. I'm assuming Leclerc is going to be coming back out, and we'll be finishing up the game. Really interested to see what's going to happen with Spores. I really don't know what was going on with him. I know the commentators were trying to make sense of it. If anybody gets an update on Spores during the game, let me know. But looked like something shoulder, maybe lat muscle, something like that. Hope it's nothing too crazy. A lot of news today coming out with pitchers and Tommy John surgery, and I know the MLBPA. There's some drama going on with them too. We'll see what happens here, guys. But pitcher injuries, man, kind of the story of the major leagues this weekend. Strider, of course, he's got something going on with his elbow. Bieber for the Guardians, he's going to be out for the year. Marlins just lost one of their pitchers, Perez. These pitcher injuries, man, they are not looking good right now. And of course, the Rangers have got their own pitcher injuries that they're dealing with. You got Scherzer, who's down with an injury. You've got, of course, Molly, and you've got DeGrom. So the Rangers are no stranger to pitching injuries. I personally really think that it's less to do with anything related to the pitch clock. I know that's kind of been the big thing is pitch clock, the speed of the game. The MLBPA rep came out today and basically blamed the pitch clock for all the pitcher injuries. For me, it's pretty well said by a couple of former players and analysts that I prefer, but guys in this game have never thrown the baseball harder. The harder you throw, the more stress you're going to put on your arm, undoubtedly, right? I really don't think that it has anything to do with the game and with the pitch clock and all that stuff. It has everything to do with today, what's valued when it comes to pitching. What's valued is speed, right? Can you throw the ball upper 90s, 100 miles an hour? That's what people care about. And the harder you throw, the more stress you're going to put on your elbow and your arm. There are guys that have been working quickly in this game as pitchers for years without the pitch clock. So this can't just suddenly be a new thing. I think people have to realize guys have never thrown the baseball harder. Right? Mike Trout was talking about it kind of before the season began and just talking about how you got guys coming in pretty much in an entire bullpen throwing 100. I mean, you look at guys the Rangers have. We have a ton of guys that throw upper 90s. Spores is one of them. And I'm seeing a couple of comments here asking about Spores. Really don't know what's wrong with him. Saw him kind of do one of these with the shoulder. That could mean a lot of different things. I don't want to pretend to be a doctor up here, but could be lat muscle, could be rotator cuff. Who knows? But I really think that we need to stop worrying about the pitch clock. I think the pitch clock has helped things. Right? These games move faster. This game without a pitch clock that we're watching finish up right now in the top of the ninth, this game started about 2 hours and 55 minutes ago, right? We started at 6:05 Texas time. Imagine this game right now without a pitch clock. We'd be in the 6th or 7th inning right now. I mean, I really believe that. This game would probably have another hour left in it if we didn't have the pitch clock. So I don't think the pitch clock's to blame. I think guys are throwing harder than ever, and this is what you get. You get guys that are going to have these elbow injuries. Now, fortunately, modern medicine, Tommy John surgery, some guys come back better than before. But you're seeing so many guys now with multiple Tommy John surgeries. I think DeGrom for the Rangers is one of them. But look at DeGrom. DeGrom throws close to 100. And for his entire career coming into the league, going 99, 100. So it's really not a shock to me that a guy like DeGrom has 2 Tommy John surgeries. So I hope that it can mellow out a little bit. I hate seeing some of these big name pitchers out for the season. I mean, we can relate to that as Rangers fans. When DeGrom went down, what was it, in June? I mean, everybody thought the season wasn't over, but nobody was thinking that we were about to run it all the way to a World Series championship when our best pitcher was out for the year. So it's never a great feeling. I feel bad for just the game of baseball in general. Personally, I want to see the best of the best compete. Right? Even with the Astros, like right now, just how I feel. I'm just being real here. We don't have to see Verlander this series, right? I would like it. I love that in Game 6 in ALCS last year. I loved that we had to face Verlander. And for a moment in that, Game 5, right? Game 5 was the one in Arlington with the Altuve home run. I love that in Game 5, we had to face Verlander, and Garcia absolutely blasted one off him for what should have been a Game 5 victory, right? I loved that we got to face Verlander. So for me, I don't sit around as a fan. I know everybody's different, but I don't sit around as a fan and hope that guys are not healthy on the teams that I don't like or on the teams that are the Rangers' rivals. I want everybody healthy because it makes it that much sweeter when you beat them. Nobody can give you the excuse. Astros fans can't give you the excuse, well, we didn't have our best. And you know that's what some people are going to be doing. I guarantee you online right now, some of y'all can probably back this up for me, but I guarantee you online right now, there are Astros fans saying, well, we don't have all our pitching staff healthy. So that's why the Rangers are winning right now. Guarantee it. No, I'm not here for it. I think the Rangers would win even if they had a Verlander pitching in this series, for example. But that's just my take on that. The pitching, the injuries. Hope that it mellows out. Hope that guys don't keep getting hurt. But as long as you prioritize what I would call throwing over pitching, right? Just throwing as hard as you can, because that's what teams want. If a team sees a guy that can throw it 101, 102, even if they don't have pinpoint control and accuracy, it doesn't matter. They can throw 101, 102. They'll take a project like that over a guy that throws upper 80s, low 90s, and can locate pitches. Now, I think the Rangers have taken some flyers on guys like that, right? You think about Cody Bradford, who just had an amazing start yesterday. He's what I would call a pitcher. That dude's not up there just throwing the baseball as hard as he can, right? He's actually locating pitches, mixing things up. He's a pitcher, and I love that. So I think that you have to bring back the priority of getting pitchers, guys that are good at locating, guys that have filthy stuff, guys that can just absolutely mix and match and pick you apart instead of guys that can just blow it past you at 102. You got to have a good mix of both. You got to have a balance of both. So let's take a look at the game. I know there's a couple of base runners on right now. Leclerc, right? Y'all saw, I know a couple of y'all saw the live that I did in, what was it, the game a couple of days ago. We ended up winning. But with Leclerc, just refuses to have a clean inning. We know that about him. Just get used to it. He'll occasionally have a 1-2-3, occasionally. But most of the time, Leclerc is minimum going to have 2 base runners on. I've just mentally prepared myself for any time Leclerc is on, guarantee 2 base runners, a walk and a hit. Most of the time, that's what it is. Now, this inning, we got, we got an Altuve double. We got a single from Alvarez. So we'll see. Now there's a wild pitch. So now we've got second and third at this moment. So never a doubt with Jose Leclerc, as I like to say. Yeah, Leclerc, he's streaky. He is. Albert, appreciate you tuning in again. Thank you, sir. He is. He's streaky. You'll see Leclerc maybe give you, I would say, 3, 4, maybe even 5 games in a row where he just looked lights out, right? He will do that. But a lot of the time, what you've got with Jose is you've got runners on base. And usually, I think more oftentimes than not last year, he could work his way out of it. Yes, he did blow some saves last year. But like tonight, he puts a couple of guys on. And now Tucker is flied out to left field. So game over. Rangers take the second game of this 4-game series with the Astros. And like I said, never a doubt, right? Never a doubt with Leclerc. But I said in the live last night, you take away Leclerc and you take away, who was it? Rodriguez, I believe. Take away those 2 guys from the bullpen, and you have 0 earned runs continuing from today as well, right? Nobody in the bullpen has given up any runs this season. Robertson, Urania came in and did a great job tonight. Burke, Spores. There's only 2 guys in this Rangers bullpen that have given up runs this year, Rodriguez and Leclerc. They're responsible for, I think, 12 different runs that the bullpen's given up. I think it's 6-6 at this moment. So, look, the bullpen is doing outstanding. Got to give CY a lot of credit, going out, getting some very solid arms, guys that I think most Rangers fans have been begging us to get, right? Just go get some veteran arms. Go get a Robertson. Go get a Yates. I know for years, even in the late 2010s, I was begging the front office, John Daniels, just go get some veteran arms. Stop relying on one first year, second year, third year guys that are just mediocre to carry the bullpen for the entire season. So the fact that we went out and got 2 vets, Robertson, Yates, that are very solid, you're not even mentioning the starters we went out and got. I think you'll see Mike Lorenzen pitch next week against the A's. I think that's what's been reported. Lorenzen, I think, is going to be a sneaky good signing. Now, we'll see. On Wednesday, I believe that's kind of tentatively when he's going to be starting when we play the A's. But I would love to see Lorenzen possibly get a good start on Wednesday and become a part of the rotation. I think that the Rangers have made some great pitching moves in the offseason. And when they get DeGrom and Scherzer and Molly back, this is going to be a very elite pitching staff from the front of the rotation to the back end of the bullpen. It just is, because you're going to be adding guys from the starting rotation right now into the bullpen, right? You can't have Bradford, Dunning, and Heaney all stay. Some of those dudes are going to be going to the pen, and then the pen only gets better when that happens. So right now, let's do a little bit of review. Let's kind of go inning by inning. I know I usually take a look at the box score. We'll kind of do a little mix of both here. So Langford, first inning, had a nice line drive single, and then had a nice double at the end of the game. The at-bats in between for Langford were a little rough, right? He had I think has had quite a few warning track hits this year, right? I think he's had that warning track power. Now we're just waiting for Langford to hit that first home run. He's had a couple of doubles. He had that triple a few games ago. Langford's got some warning track power right now, much like Evan Carter, right? Who had that home run, almost home run, I guess I should say, hit the very top of the wall. So Wyatt Langford, Evan Carter, as we say in baseball, they got to hit the weight room, man. They got that weight room power right now. They need to make sure that they're hitting the weights a little extra hard, getting that ball over the fence. That Carter one, man, how did that not go out, right? How did that Evan Carter hit in the second inning not go out? 101 exit velocity on that ball that he hit. We know Evan Carter is the doubles king, though. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Carter set the postseason record like for most doubles last year? We set so many records last year in the postseason. It's hard to keep track of them all. You know, you had Garcia with the RBI record. I'm pretty sure Carter set the doubles record for a single postseason last year. So Evan Carter, Mr. Doubles. That first home run is coming, I'm sure, for both him and Wyatt Langford. Second inning, we actually had a lot of opportunities to score more runs. Heim had a nice RBI single, but then after that, we had a little dribbler down the line from Smith. Leote wasn't able to get a productive out with less than 2 outs, and the second inning ended with only that 1 run scored. Seager came up a lot today with nobody on. Simeon, I think, got the last out in multiple innings. Seager had a nice 7-pitch walk in the third inning, had a nice single in the fifth inning to lead off, but nobody was able to come up after Seager. I think it was probably a couple of different times in the game and really drive home anything extra. And I think in the fifth inning, Carter had another one of his doubles with Seager on first base. You're just not going to see Seager go first to home on a double very often. Last year, Seager was just, and rightfully so. I mean, he had some different injuries that he was dealing with, but Seager is just not going to score very much first to home on a double, even on a ball like Evan Carter's that goes all the way to the wall in right field. I mean, if there's a play where you're going to score from first, it's on a ball like that, right? Down the right field line, it hits the wall. You're scoring from first on something like that every time. But Seager, I know that they kind of baby him. I'm not trying to be negative or anything, but they do baby him a little bit, and they're just not going to send him. And you can tell even he knows it, right? He hit second. You kind of watch the replay of that Carter double in the fifth inning, and Siegs is just jogging immediately when he gets halfway to third. They're not trying to injure him. It's a long season. I get it. But it's tough in a close game when you've got him on first base and you just know on a double he's probably not scoring. It could have ended up being a bigger deal. It was nice that the Rangers in the bottom of the eighth created that separation. So I'll tell you what, anytime you've got Evan Carter doing what he's doing, having a game like he did tonight, hitting behind Corey Seager, that's ideal, right? I think that Wyatt Langford, we'll see if he sticks in that 3 spot behind Siegs. I think that they could probably toy around with him and Langford, kind of going back and forth between that 3 spot and 5th spot with Garcia kind of right in the middle. But look, whoever has got the hot hand, I think if those two guys can continue to hit, protect Seager, anytime you'd have teams not willing to just straight up pitch around Corey, that is super ideal for this Rangers team. I think that they've got to get somebody in that 3 spot. Hopefully it'll be Wyatt Langford. I think Wyatt Langford's the future. I'd love to see him become that 3-hole hitter. But if you don't have somebody consistently hitting behind Corey Seager, it's going to be an issue. So it's great to see both Wyatt Langford and Evan Carter come to play tonight, have a couple of hits apiece. Beautiful, beautiful stuff from the rookies, from the young guys. Other stuff. Jared Walsh, 7-game hitting streak. Impressive, right? I mean, look, the stats today aren't jumping off of the screen as I look at them from him, but nevertheless, 1 for 4 with a run scored, a walk, so he was on base twice. Still hitting .333, had a couple of strikeouts, but Jared Walsh, 7-game hitting streak to start the season. Very, very impressive from him. And going down the rest of the box score, we had Heim 1 for 5. He had that RBI single. Smith 1 for 3 with the walk. So Josh Smith, again, on 2 times. Just love to see that from him. Hitting .357 on the year. Look, Josh Young, obviously a huge loss. Gold Glover. He's an MVP candidate, I think, when healthy. Josh Young, he's going to be out for about 9-10 more weeks. But Josh Smith just picking up right where Josh Young left off, honestly. Josh Young was hitting about .350, .400 when he got hurt. And Smith has been able to match the production, right? Hitting at the bottom of the order, the RBI opportunities aren't going to be there. That being said, last night he had a couple. So Josh Smith on base twice today. Love it. And good to see Leote at the bottom of the order going 2 for 4, scoring 2 runs, getting an RBI. Leote had a couple of really nice hits. And anytime you have Leote at the bottom of the order setting the table for Simeon and Seager, that is going to be a recipe for success. You are going to win a lot of ball games if Leote can help turn that lineup over and can get Simeon and Seager some RBI opportunities, I think that is going to be a huge, huge thing to watch moving forward. Can Leote be consistent? I know that right now in a lot of Rangers fans' minds, he's kind of on the chopping block. I'm not rooting against him. I want to see Leote do well. I've said that almost every live that I've gotten on. I want to see him do well. He had a nice postseason, the World Series. It was a little rough for him, but he had that big home run off Justin Verlander, had that amazing catch against Alvarez to rob him of a home run. It was a game the Rangers lost, but nevertheless, probably the play of the postseason. Leote's got some tools. He's got some tools. I would love to see Leote turn it on and have a great first half here before the All-Star break. That's kind of how I measure seasons: before All-Star break, after All-Star break. I think that Leote is going to get every opportunity to be successful, and especially with the Rangers dealing with some injuries, even more so. Let's talk a little bit about John Gray. So me, like Albert, really hopes that John Gray gets back on track. I think John Gray had a lot of moments in this game where he was just playing with fire way too much. So in the first inning alone, right, Tucker gets a 2-out hit, Bregman gets a 2-out hit. So there was 2-out hits and 2-out walks. Those of us that have been around the game a long time, you know, the baseball gods just do not handle that very well. I mean, if you're walking guys with 2 outs, if you're giving up hits with 2 outs, it never goes well. I mean, sometimes you get lucky and you escape it, but Gray was just playing with fire all game long. He got out of some situations, but you looked at what happened in that third inning, right? So Gray gets a really nice pickoff. There's a 2-out walk to Alvarez and Bregman. And then McCormick also had the 2-out walk. Tucker gets the 2-out double after an 0-2 count. And then you have Seager committing the 2-out error. Right? Seager plays a pretty good shortstop. I mean, he's not, I don't know if Siegs is Gold Glove shortstop, but I think he is above average. And stuff like that is going to happen when you walk guys and give up 2-out hits. You're going to have somebody make an error, or somebody's going to get a blue pit, and the inning's going to continue. It's just what happens when you give up 2-out hits and 2-out walks. So I would love to see Gray get back on track. He couldn't even make it 4 innings, gave up 5 hits, 3 walks. So look, you're getting 11 outs and you're giving up 8 base runners. That's not great, not ideal. 3 strikeouts, but I would love to see Gray get back on track. Bullpen did a very, very solid job getting things done in place of Gray, right? Gray clearly is a guy they want to go 5 or 6 innings. Bullpen comes through. Orena did a great job. Burke came in and, gave up the 2-out hit right away, but escaped a little bit of a jam. Yates, 2 strikeouts. Robertson went 1-2-3. Spores was about to go 1-2-3 before his injury. By the way, anybody that's able to find out anything about Spores, I'm not watching any kind of Rangers postgame or anything right now. So if y'all find anything out on him, let me know. But Spores look great. So good stuff from the Rangers today. And our system, of course, betting 1 cent on Rangers money line on Rangers to win for every follower, looking very good as the Rangers move to 6-2 on the season. They split the series at minimum with the Astros, and they're going for a series win tomorrow. Dane Dunning on the hill. That'll be great. And then hopefully a series sweep on Monday once that Sunday game gets wrapped up. Tomorrow should be fun. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Anytime the Rangers are on national TV, you've got to love it. You've got to enjoy it. So Rangers on Sunday Night Baseball. I love that ESPN is showcasing this rivalry. I think that the national audience as a whole is starting to catch on to this Rangers-Astros rivalry. But nevertheless, I think that this is probably the best rivalry in sports in baseball. Let me get a little more specific. In baseball, there's probably some other rivalries in other sports that are a little better, but I think this is the best rivalry in baseball right now. Yankees and Red Sox is always going to be classic, but look, I just don't think that the Yankees and Red Sox is what it once was. For I'm sure Yankees fans and Red Sox fans, it probably is still at that same level. But I'd be interested to hear their opinions. I think Astros Rangers is probably the biggest rivalry right now, just with the postseason drama last year. And the Astros obviously are 2-7 right now, but they're going to come down. I know that this is not going to be how they stay. I mean, I'm not going to complain if they stay a losing team the rest of the year, just being real. But I think that the Astros are going to bounce back. They always do. They hit a hot streak and they just look like the team to beat. It happens every single year. The Astros had some valleys last year, and then they ended up bouncing back. So, look, I'm not counting on the Astros to stay terrible forever. I think that they're going to catch stride. They'll catch an easy part of the schedule. The Rangers, not in an easy part of the schedule, but they do have the A's coming up after the Astros. The Astros are going to catch a part in their schedule where they play the A's and then they play another team. Maybe they play the Rockies back to back. And it's just like they gain 8 games suddenly, right? That's what happened last year at a couple different spots. The Astros looked kind of a little mediocre. Then they play a couple of bad teams back to back and win 7 in a row. Right? That's what happens in baseball sometimes. So I think, nevertheless, this is the best rivalry in baseball right now. Glad to see them showcasing it on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. The Astros are throwing Blanco. Blanco, of course, had the no-hitter about 4 or 5 days ago. And Rangers are throwing Dane Dunning, who looked pretty good in his first go-round. 4.26 ERA. I think it was one of those deals, if you remember, with Dunning, where he got through 5, looked incredible, and then they sent him back out, I think, either for the 6th or the 7th, and it was just like you left him out there a little too long. And that's kind of how it was with Heaney as well. Heaney went 5 strong, and then all of a sudden the wheels started falling off. So that's kind of what I think about Dunning and about Heaney. They're going to give you 5. They're going to give you 6. Can they go that 6th, 7th inning? We'll see, right? I think Dane Dunning and Heaney kind of got to prove that a little bit more. But I think at this point, Dunning's going to give you a good shot to win, and I fully expect that tomorrow. Let me look at Dunning's stats, by the way, see if I can get you some splits against Houston. So last year, Dunning against the Astros. I'm going to see if I can get some numbers for you, some batter versus pitcher numbers. But hopefully Blanco for the Astros won't have his A game. Won't have the same kind of game that he had throwing the no-hitter last time, that is. So let's take a look here. So in 2023, Dunning got hit pretty hard by the Astros. 375 average against, 12 hits and 32 at-bats, 2 walks. So Dunning's got some things to prove tomorrow. We'll see if he can move past 2023 because he absolutely did not do well last year against them. 3 home runs given up. Looks like this is pretty crazy. I can't even believe this as I'm reading it. But Martin Maldonado had 2 bombs against Dunning last year. Altuve had a home run against Dunning last year as well. Let me see if there's anybody else. Looks like Alvarez 0 for 3 against Dunning. That's notable. McCormick 1 for 2. Let's see. Tucker 1 for 2. Abreu 1 for 2. So look, Dunning has some things to prove tomorrow. Hopefully he can get back to doing what he usually does, getting outs, using that sinker, getting a lot of ground balls. That's when Dunning is at his best. So we'll see how Dunning fares tomorrow night. Don't think Blanco has a whole lot of stats, if any, against the Rangers. I'll see if I can pull up his numbers. But I don't know if the Rangers have seen a whole lot of Blanco, but we'll check it out. So that start time tomorrow, by the way, looks like it is at 6:10 Texas time. So we're kind of going with these 6 o'clock starts once again. So we'll see. It'll be fun, though, to see the Rangers on national TV. Tomorrow, as usual, I'll have a video out. I'll have a reel out going through the pitching matchups, giving you a little score prediction. I think we said 8-5 tonight So we got a little close with the Rangers scoring 7. And as I always say, I'll be happy to be wrong if the number for the opposing team is lower, like it was tonight. So I predicted 8-5. Rangers win 7-2 tonight. So look, no complaints coming from me. Rangers move to 6-2 on the season and face Blanco tomorrow, coming off of a no-hitter. Dunning going for the Rangers as well. Anything I missed, guys? Oh, cool. Somebody was at the Rangers game tonight that's on the live. That's phenomenal. I would love to be at one of these games. Most of y'all know I'm located in Vegas. We're lucky to maybe go to one or two games. Usually we catch a game when they're out in LA or San Diego, which is awesome. I was actually able to go to game 1 of the World Series. My wife spoiled me, got me some tickets, and it was an outstanding time. Those of y'all that know game 1 know exactly what I'm talking about. The Corey Seager home run for the ages. That was a ton of fun. I think I'm probably never going to go to a better baseball game than game 1 of the Rangers World Series last year. So, look, I'll be happy if we can make it to another one in Arlington. That was a phenomenal experience for us. The house was packed, of course, for World Series. Looked like the crowd was pretty good tonight. Don't know if it was sellout. I'm assuming it was probably pretty close, but we'll see what ends up happening with the numbers. I'd be interested to see. But let's see, guys. I'm trying to pull up Blanco's stats still. Let me know if I missed anything or if you got any comments, questions, anything about the game. But as we go batter versus pitcher for Blanco last year, looks like he did face the Rangers, 280 average against him. So look, Rangers hit him pretty well. Looks like Heim and Josh Young hit homers. So Rangers will have a pretty good shot. They'll diagnose Spore's shoulder tomorrow. Thank you, Albert. Appreciate that. And Leclerc performance, yeah, look, glad there was a 5-run lead. I'm kind of switching over to Instagram comments here. Glad there was a 5-run lead for Leclerc. Never a doubt with him, right? That's what we like to say, a little jokingly. Hopefully he can stop needing 2 or 3 base runners on base to be allowed every single outing. I'm hoping he catches fire and catches a good run. But guys, with that being said, I'm going to take off. I'll have a couple of reels out tomorrow. One previewing the game, giving you an update on the system, and then also I'll probably cut up a couple of bits from our live tonight. But I want to say I appreciate all of you, appreciate the support. This is probably the most viewed live we've had. So, hey, that's always a good thing. But as we always say, guys, God bless. Go Rangers.